UPS.
What in the world are you doing? Oh my God!
Hi, Mom.
Oh my God!
Surprise!
I can't believe this.
Some mellow music, throw our dreams into the fire.
Really, Mom?
Hell yeah!
Now watch me, nay, nay. Now watch me whip, whip. Watch me, nay, nay. Now watch me whip. Watch me, nay, nay. Now watch me whip, whip. Watch me, nay, nay.
Sunday morning with the family. And we sit right there, Chris back there, my mom, and Bill. And what better time is it to get tattooed?
All the demons and our souls on uprising. We gon' be kicking tonight, we gon' be sipping tonight, ripping the night away. When the time is right, under the full moon now, we'll rip the night away. We gon' be kicking tonight, we gon' be sipping tonight, ripping the night away. Times of good vibes, surrounded with your friends and your family by your side. All the time we spent together, going out, having fun, doing the things we do. This lifestyle's got us on the run. Life's too precious, every moment make it count. Some days you're on top, some days you're down and out. This life's a gift, and I'ma shine my light. So sit back, relax, get high with us and kick it tonight. We gon' be kicking tonight, we gon' be sipping tonight, ripping the night away. On old times of a few, but lives we just sit and laugh while we reminisce. The best days in life will be the ones most missed.
What's going on? So I'm here with my mom. This is my mom.
Howdy.
If you can tell. Anyway, so she's one of my biggest inspirations. She's one of my heroes. She's been through a shit ton. So instead of just showing you like a hey reveal went and surprised my mom video, I figured I'd give you a public service announcement kind of video too, of like she's been through so many unique things that like, you know, maybe give people a heads up that watch this, like if you have these problems, go see a doctor or something. So when I was a teenager, the first thing I remember, she was diagnosed with a brainstem tumor. So that was the first thing. And like, what made you go to the doctor for that? Like, how did you know there's something wrong?
Headaches all the time. Real bad headaches. Starting from the back of the neck, goes all the way up to the top of your head. It feels like somebody took a 2x4 to your head.
Okay, so if you have that feeling, make sure you go to the doctor, get it checked out. She ended up taking medication, and the doctors were able to get that taken care of for her. So that was the first big thing that kind of happened. The next thing was I was coming out of my teens. I think I was 18, 17, 18. When I got the phone call that my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I don't have to worry about this.
No.
But what are some of the symptoms like?
Bleeding a lot. Like 3 weeks out of a month. Passing huge clots. A lot of cramping. Very tired. So, yeah, if you have any of those symptoms, ovarian cancer is known as a silent killer for the woman. Because you really don't know that you have it until after it's too late. Mine was stage 3 ovarian cancer.
So they did surgery. I remember that. And then they were able to save her, get her taken care of, and all that stuff. That's, can't thank them enough. It's crazy. Get a phone call that, we didn't find this out in time, and to hear your mom get a percentage put on her life is not good. It's never enjoyable. So if you have any of those symptoms, make sure that you go seek medical attention. Make sure you get caught in time. We can't, I like girls. We can't lose girls. That's not cool.
Women make the world go round.
Yeah, exactly. So then after that, this one I flew out immediately for her. She was diagnosed with, she had a gallbladder problem, and then she had gangrene. And I don't even know how that happens, or if that was still a thing. How did that happen?
My bowel I had a blockage in my bowel, and my bowel had backed up and caused gangrene around the gallbladder. And I didn't go to the doctor until it was already too late, and I only had a 30% chance of living. I had a gallstone that had slipped into the liver duct, so they had to operate on the liver first, and then after that, 24 hours later, they operated and took the gallbladder out and reconstructed the bowel. Took part of my colon and part of my intestines.
Yeah, when she was admitted, my brothers immediately scrambled, and we figured out a way for me to fly from Phoenix to middle of nowhere, Ohio. She was living in a village. It's classified as, it was so small, it's actually classified as a village. To get me out here to, make sure that she was okay, and to hope, help through it and everything like that. But again, with the percentages in your life, if we could stop this trend, that'd be great. You have bad trends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wait and go to the doctor until it's almost too late.
So, yeah. What are the symptoms she look out for?
Severe stomach aches. Not being able to use the bathroom, like number 2. When you eat, it's even worse than heartburn. You have this burning sensation from the pit of your stomach. It's god awful. The pain is god awful. But then it kind of like comes and goes, so you really don't know that you have the problem. So, because you'd eat Rolaids or whatever, and it would go away until it just gets to the problem where gangrene sets up, and then you start throwing up your own bowel. And that's the reason why they put a percentage on your life. Is because, most people don't live through it.
So, and then, this is the recent one. This is the other phone call. And this was the biggest reason why finally everything in my life got stable to where I could make this trip. And this trip was super important because as of recent, she was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. So once again, nice phone calls and percentages and, time frames on your mom's life, which is never the phone call you ever want to hear, especially that has to do with your mom. So this trip was super important to me, and that's why, we vlogged it and had fun with it. But what made you go to the doctor for this one? or lack of going to the doctor?
I had a cyst under my armpit, and they needed to take the gland out. And in order to take the gland out, before you go in the hospital, of course, you have to have blood work and all that done. Well, they did the blood work, and I was coming home, and I got a phone call from the doctor, and the doctor said I needed to go to the hospital immediately, that my blood count, my white blood count was 0. And I waited for my husband to get home from work and went to the hospital, and they did a bone marrow biopsy, which came back that I had acute myeloid leukemia. I had no immune system. My platelet count was 0. My white blood count was 0. And I was going to die. They called in my family, and I was transported to the James Cancer Institute in Columbus, Ohio, and they saved my life. I underwent 7 rounds of chemo in the first 2.5 months, and chemo every month for a week thereafter until here recently. And I got an infection in my PICC line, which, you know, they use to put your chemo throughout your body. And it landed me in the intensive care unit on life support for a week. And just thankful to the good Lord above that I'm sitting here next to him today, because they didn't expect me to make it. Acute myeloid leukemia is going to kill me. They can't do any more treatment. I'm grateful for every day that I have. I'm very grateful for being here today. It is an honor to be his mom. And
You gotta lie.
I can't tell people enough to get checked regularly at the doctor. You know, the symptoms of leukemia is bruising, tired. You're tired all the time for no reason, and you hurt. Every place that there's a bone, you hurt. So be aware of that. And if any of that's happening, if you just get a bruise for no reason, you haven't walked into anything, or, you know, that's one of the number 1 signs is bruising for no reason. You need to take heed to it, because the quicker they can find it, the better off you are. When they brought my family in, they told my family that I was going to die. Now that they can't do any more treatment, leukemia is going to kill me. But everybody tells me I'm too stubborn and I'm not going to die.
She's just stubborn. She outlive all of us.
Yeah. Hopefully I get to live to see all of them married and my grandbabies grow up and graduate and all that. But I'm very grateful for every day that I wake up breathing.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too, son.